Welcome to the Data Science Experience Local, also known as DSX Local. This is the second of 3 videos introducing DSX Local. It is recommended to watch the 3 videos in order. In the first video, we covered some of the main administrative aspects of DSX Local, along with a description of the community concepts. In this video, we will start looking at the functional features of the platform and how DSX can turn your data scientist's work into powerful team-based collaborative activities. More specifically, we will look at the concept of projects, project members or collaborators, and data assets. This is the login screen of DSX Local. To get started, we're now going to log in using the default administrator credentials, which are admin for the username and password for the password. This is the default landing page. The drop-down menu at the top of the page allows administrators to jump into the DSX Local dashboard to access the administrative console, which was covered in the previous video. In this recording, we will focus on the IBM Data Science Experience Local menu, which will take us into the functional features of the platform. Let us therefore review again the functional chart covering the main aspects of DSX, which will be covered in this demo and the subsequent one. From the DSX login screen, we are taken to the main landing page, which contains several community notebooks which can help you get started, helpful quick links into various documentation and forum sites, a summary of the latest projects which were opened, accessed, or created. The notion of a project is central to DSX Local and constitutes the essential method of collaboration. Inside a project, you can have different types of elements. Members or collaborators. Collaborators can be added to a project in one of 3 different roles: administrators, editors, and read-only access. Data assets can be added to a project and they become accessible to all project members, with rights corresponding to their role. Data assets can be files that are uploaded directly to the project or can be database connections from which data can be pulled into DSX. Projects can also hold different types of analytics assets, which can be used to analyze, transform, and extract insight from data. Such assets include Jupyter or Zeppelin notebooks, RStudio artifacts, and IBM models, which is a GUI-based graphical interface which can be used to create, train, deploy machine learning models in a very easy way without having to write any code. Let us now create a project and explore the features we just mentioned. Click on the navigation menu and select Projects, and then click on View All Projects. The current list of projects should be empty, except for the default DSX sample project, which is always created with the DSX local installation process. We will now go ahead and click on New Project. On this screen, you can see that there are 3 options to create a project. Create a completely new blank project, create a project from a zip file, which would have been obtained by saving a previously existing project, or create a project by importing its contents from GitHub. Let us go ahead and create a blank empty project from scratch and call it Project 1. The new project is created with only one collaborator, who is the creator. By clicking on the collaborators link, we can view all the current project members and add new members or delete existing ones. Click on Add Collaborators to add new collaborators. The list of users who are defined in this instance, either locally or through an LDAP instance, are shown in this video. See User Management under the Admin console for details on how to set up LDAP. You can then select users you wish to add as collaborators to this project with corresponding roles. So I will select user 2, 3, and 4 to be part of this project and make them viewers of this particular project. Once added, users can also be managed by changing their permissions or removing them using the 3 vertical dots present to the right of each user entry. Clicking now on the project name at the top of the screen, we can come back to the main page and take a closer look at the data assets. Let us now click on the Assets link. This is the main project assets page. Across the top, we have quick links down to the various types of assets which can be added to the project. notebooks, RStudio, and models, which we will cover in a subsequent video, datasets, which we will look into right now. We can now click on Add Dataset to bring up the corresponding screen. We can upload a file from the local file system or define a remote dataset. To define a remote dataset, you simply need to define a data source using standard credentials, JDBC URL, username, password, or select one if it's already defined, and then point to the dataset within the proper data source using the relevant schema name and the table name within the data source. Let us now upload a simple file from the local file system. Once loaded, the dataset now appears in the local datasets and can be previewed, deleted, or exported. Once some modifications to your projects have been made, such as adding a new dataset, DSX Local will notify you that you need to commit the changes you have just made to make them visible to other collaborators within this project. You can do that by clicking on this commit option, and you can add in any comments as necessary. I'm going to added in a new dataset as comments so that my other collaborators are aware of the changes that I have made. If I were to log on as another collaborator to this project, we would see a message indicating that an update is available and we would be prompted to accept the changes. In addition to this, every user has the ability to either accept the changes or reset a project to a previous version. So this gives the user versioning control, which is a big aspect of collaborations. Every single project can also be exported as a zip or a tar file, which can then be re-imported later to create new projects. Thank you for taking the time to watch this short demo on part 2 of this 3-part video series. You can now go ahead and watch the third and final part, which covers the various analytical assets such as notebooks, RStudio, and models.